Yeah, I mean,
Oh.
they
And
were.
would
They
you
were
like to read a couple?
yeah, I know.
Let's read a couple.
They were sort of written over, sort of exploring things that I'd been thinking about as a dancer, I guess. So I'll read. I'll read two, because I'm kind of sick of these poems as well, because these are old. So I'll read one new poem and then I'll read one from the book. This is called Love Poem, but it's actually a sort of anti-love poem. Love poem. Ultimately, we will lose each other to something. I would hope for grand circumstance, death or disaster. But it might not be that way at all. It might be that you walk out one morning after making love to buy cigarettes and never return, or I fall in love with another man. It might be a slow drift into indifference. Either way, we'll have to learn to bear the weight of the eventuality that we will lose each other to something. So why not begin now, while your head rests like a perfect moon in my lap and the dogs on the beach are howling? Why not reach for the seam in the South Indian night and tear it just a little so the falling can begin? Because later, when we cross each other on the streets and are forced to look away, when we've thrown the disregarded pieces of our togetherness into bedroom drawers and the smell of our bodies is disappearing like the sweet decay of lilies, what will we call it when it's no longer love? Can I read? I'll read one poem from here, which, well, it's interesting because I think it might tie into different issues in the novel, and that's about movement and beginnings and endings. You know, this is a poem called The Deliverer, and it's about a journey that my mother actually took. She was a sort of baby deliverer at one point in time when she was taking babies from an orphanage and taking them to England and to the US. And she was telling me that, I mean, it was a small orphanage in Kerala. She was telling me how all of these kids were, all of the babies were girls, because basically in India nobody ever abandons their boys, and this is a huge problem. We've lost 10 million girl children over the last 2 decades. That's a lot through female selection and female infanticide. And this is a story about a girl that got away. So she came to parents in Milwaukee. But it was just interesting to think about where she started off and you know, whether the body has a memory of origin and beginning. So this is called The Deliverer. Our Lady of the Light Convent, Kerala. The sister here is telling my mother how she came to collect children because they were crippled or dark or girls, found naked in the streets, covered in garbage, stuffed in bags, abandoned at their doorstep. One of them was dug up by a dog, thinking the head barely poking above the ground was bone or wood, something to chew. This is the one my mother will bring. Milwaukee Airport, USA. The parents wait at the gates. They are American, so they know about ceremony and tradition, about doing things right. They haven't seen or touched her yet, don't know of her fetish for plucking hair off hands or how her mother tried to bury her, but they are crying. We couldn't stop crying, my mother said, feeling the strangeness of her empty arms. This girl grows up on videotapes, sees how she's passed from woman to woman. She returns to twilight corners, to the day of her birth, how it happens in some desolate hut outside village boundaries, where mothers go to squeeze out life, watch body slither out from body, feel for penis or no penis, toss the baby to the heap of others, trudge home to lie down for their men again.